Hello guys, today let's talk about security in Laravel. I recently saw this tweet by Mahmoud showing that if you're not careful with strict check of types, your Laravel application may be hacked. I never encountered that specific situation, so I will describe it for you and I try to reproduce whether that hack actually works. Then we will discuss whether it's a security issue in Laravel. It's not actually. Then we will talk how to make sure it doesn't happen, and then I try to also investigate different related cases of how request passes the data to Laravel API endpoint. So step by step, let's go. First, the demonstration. The tweet, I will zoom that in. So this is the zoomed in version. Imagine you have post request to Laravel and you check the API key with not strict check. But it's pretty common. You check the API key for some string and then return yes or no. And the typical use case shown in that tweet, you pass API key as secret in your API client, like this for example in JSON, and the result is as expected, yes, good. But the tricky part is that the same happens if you pass API key true. So if you don't know any secret API key, you just pass the boolean true and the result is the same. Yes. At first I thought there was some kind of mistake and would try to reproduce it, and let's see what happened. So this is a Laravel project, route post, pretty much the same scenario. We're checking for random key secret and showing yes 0 or no 0, because later in this video there will be yes 1, yes 2 and other cases. But for now the basics. And here I am in my Postman in API client, sending the same request with random key secret, post, and if we send that, we get yes 0, see at the bottom. As expected, right? Now, if we change that secret to anything else, we send and we see no 0, which means that the check actually works. If we change that to true, however, as a string true, we send and we get no. But we change that to boolean true, which will be accepted. And then we send and we return yes. So the tweet is correct, the case confirmed. But is it a security issue in Laravel? Not really. And there are actually even two places kinda bad in this code. First, not checking the type, and second, just getting the data from request without using Laravel functions to get exactly the type that you need. And of course, another good level of security would be encryption. So for example, Laravel Sanctum, responsible for APIs, doesn't compare the API keys directly with equal or strict equal. It's hashed. So that's why it's not a security issue in Laravel, it's how you use Laravel and PHP syntax in your custom code. Now, does it happen only in post requests and does it happen only with request this? I've investigated, tried it out, and let's see other cases. So I have commented them out and let's see request input instead of just request, and then we check the loose comparison versus strict comparison. Then we have request string, we also try request JSON, and we also will return the types of those JSON, input, and string. And also as the last thing, I tried true secret, and it's underlined for a reason in PHP Storm, and I will show you why in a minute. For now, let's repeat the same behavior with random key true, we send, and what do we have here? Yes 0 as we had, and request input, that's the proof that it's the same as request random key, also same result, yes 1. But the first solution is to use strict check, and then we have no 2, which means that the value is the same but the type is different. So this returns boolean and this is string, and that's why it's no 2. What if we use request string for that boolean? We see no 3 because request string would return empty probably, not the same as secret. Then request JSON, in this case it also returns boolean, which means yes 4, and these are the result of debug type. Boolean, boolean, and stringable. So request string will actually return string, or actually one more thing, what is the actual value? I'm not sure. Is it true or empty? If we go request string from past true in boolean, we send, let's see, and the value is 1. It's even more interesting, so it's converted to 1, which is still not equal to secret, so that's probably safe, in a way. So yeah, the thing is that both request JSON, request input, and request without any functionality here return the boolean if the boolean is passed, so true becomes the value. And then this becomes important. If true equals secret, and in PHP that is correct statement. Basically, it is interpreted if the secret is not empty, which it is. So that's why the result of that, true equals secret, is yes 5. And that's the whole essence of this error. It's not actually a security issue in Laravel or even a security issue in PHP. It's the behavior, kind of the expected, in a way, behavior of language comparison. So that's why PHP Storm underlines it here, suggesting that Boolean expression can be simplified to just this. And if that is converted as Boolean, that would return true and then return yes 5. I found a few discussion topics about that on Stack Overflow and other forums. So this one, for example, 8 years ago. So it's not a new problem. It's not about Laravel at all. It's about PHP, which basically is if you compare true Boolean to string, it will always return true. And the solution discussed, of course, is to use strict comparison instead of loose comparison. But also, the second part is not use this. Instead of having request random key or request input, request string is probably the preferred way, at least in this scenario. Now, also I've tried another scenario with get request. So we have post in the postman here, but would it be the same in the get request? So can someone hack via browser? So this is the code, another URL, another route with route get, expecting the token, and let's see if the token is secret or not. And if we launch that in the browser without any query, it's no 1, no 2, no 3, as expected because token isn't even passed. If we pass token as secret, it's yes 1, yes 2, yes 3, which is also as expected. But now if we pass true, what happens? No 1, no 2, no 3, which means that from browser point of view, the browser automatically transformed that true to string, and in case of get request from browser, that doesn't work. But if you perform the same request test in Postman, and let's put that token to true, we send, and there we go, the same result, yes 1 for that loose comparison. So get requests can be passed not only from browser directly, but also from the API client. So yeah, when checking something important, please use strict comparison like this, and also use functions like request query, which would be correctly represented, or request string like this. The final note in this video, so you wouldn't blame PHP or Laravel for behaving like that, it's not only about PHP. One meme I found online about JavaScript from 2019, this is one part, let's scroll down, so this one is true, this one is true in JavaScript, but then this one is false. I will link that article in the description below so you can read that in full, as well as the original tweet, and you can try to reproduce it yourself and play around with various options. I will also link another video of mine from 2 years ago about security and top 7 mistakes I identify that developers make in Laravel, so you can continue diving deeper into that subject. What do you think? Is that example kind of dangerous, or is it just the case that developers don't check the parameters strictly enough? Let's discuss in the comments below. That's it for this time, and see you guys in other videos.